The rain hammered against the windows of our small cottage in the Cotswolds, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. For 20 years, this place had been our sanctuary, a testament to the life Wynstan and I had built together. Or at least what I thought we had built. I am Felix, a 46-year-old IT specialist, and until a few weeks ago, I believed my life was perfect. A loving wife, a comfortable home, and a career I enjoyed. What more could a man ask for? It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Wynstan, always meticulous about her appearance, began spending more time getting ready in the mornings. New clothes appeared in her wardrobe, stylish dresses and skirts that weren't quite her usual style. I chalked it up to a midlife refresh, a desire to feel good about herself. Then came the late nights at the office. Wynstan worked as a marketing manager for a local firm, and Shed always had a demanding job, but the frequency of these late nights increased dramatically. Big project, Shed say, her eyes averted, a flicker of something unreadable in their depths. I wanted to believe her, I truly did. But a nagging doubt had begun to burrow its way into my mind, a seed of suspicion that refused to be ignored. One evening, I decided to surprise her at work. I packed a picnic basket with her favorite sandwiches and drove to her office building, a modern glass structure on the outskirts of town. I walked into the lobby, expecting to be greeted by the usual security guard, but instead I found the reception desk deserted. The lights were dimmed and the building was eerily quiet. "Wynstan," I called out, my voice echoing in the empty space. No response. I decided to take the elevator to her floor. The doors opened to reveal a dimly lit office, most of the cubicles deserted. I walked towards Winstan's office, my heart pounding in my chest. As I rounded the corner, I saw her. She wasn't alone. She was locked in a passionate embrace with a man I'd never seen before. His back was to me, but I could see Winstan's face, her eyes closed, a look of pure bliss on her features. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. My breath caught in my throat, and a wave of nausea washed over me. I stumbled backward, knocking over a stack of files on a nearby desk. The noise startled them. Wynstan pulled away from the man, her eyes widening in horror as she saw me. "Felix," she gasped, her face paling. The man turned around, his expression a mixture of surprise and defiance. He was tall and handsome, with a confident swagger about him. "Who's this?" he asked, his voice dripping with arrogance. "This is my husband," Wynstan said, her voice barely a whisper. The man smirked. "Well, well," he said, extending his hand. "I'm Ignatius, a colleague of Winstan's." I stared at his outstretched hand, my mind reeling. I wanted to scream, to shout, to lash out, but I was frozen in place, paralyzed by shock and disbelief. "What's going on here, Wynstan?" I managed to ask, my voice trembling. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Ignatius stepped forward, his eyes glinting with amusement. "Look, Felix," he said, "I think it's pretty obvious what's going on here. Wynstan and I have a connection. A connection. Is that what they were calling it? A connection that involved betraying my trust, shattering my heart, and destroying everything I thought we had." "Get out," I said, my voice rising. "Get out of my sight." Ignatius shrugged. "All right, mate," he said, backing away. "No need to get violent." He gave Wynstan a wink and sauntered out of the office, leaving us alone in the suffocating silence. I turned to Wynstan, my eyes filled with pain and anger. "How could you do this to me?" I asked, my voice cracking. She burst into tears. "I'm so sorry, Felix," she sobbed. It just happened," I repeated, incredulous. "You just happened to betray me, to cheat on me, to destroy our marriage." She sank to her knees, her body racked with sobs. "I never meant to hurt you," she said. "I still love you." "Love me?" I scoffed. "If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this." I couldn't bear to look at her any longer. I turned and walked out of the office, leaving her sobbing on the floor. I drove home in a daze, the rain blurring my vision. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, a cruel and twisted reality that I couldn't escape. When I got back to the cottage, I went straight to the bedroom and started packing my bags. I couldn't stay here, not with the memories of our life together swirling around me, each one a painful reminder of her betrayal. As I packed, I found a small velvet box hidden in the back of her closet. Curiosity overriding my anger, I opened it. Inside was a diamond ring, a stunning piece of jewelry that I'd never seen before. A note was tucked inside the box. "For my darling Wynstan," it read. "I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. Love, Ignatius. The blood drained from my face. This wasn't just a fleeting affair, a momentary lapse in judgment. This was a planned, calculated betrayal, a deliberate attempt to destroy our marriage. I slammed the box shut and threw it against the wall, shattering the mirror above the dresser. The sound of breaking glass echoed through the cottage, a fitting soundtrack to the destruction of my life. I finished packing and left the cottage, driving away into the night, leaving behind everything I thought I knew and loved. I spent the next few weeks in a haze of grief and anger. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't stop replaying the scene in the office in my mind, each time feeling the pain of her betrayal anew. I confided in my friend Barnaby, a gruff but loyal mechanic who had known me since childhood. He listened patiently as I poured out my heart, offering words of comfort and support. "You deserve better than that, Felix," he said. "She doesn't deserve you." I knew he was right, but it didn't make the pain any easier to bear. One day, Barnaby suggested that I take a break, get away from everything and clear my head. "Go on a trip," he said. "Do something you've always wanted to do." I thought about it for a while, and then an idea came to me. I'd always been fascinated by photography, but I'd never had the time or the money to pursue it seriously. Now I had both. I decided to book a photography tour of Iceland, a land of stunning landscapes and dramatic scenery. It was a chance to escape my pain, to immerse myself in something beautiful, and to rediscover myself. The trip was transformative. I spent my days exploring glaciers, volcanoes, and waterfalls, capturing their beauty with my camera. I met other photographers from all over the world, people who shared my passion for capturing the world around us. I learned new techniques, honed my skills, and found a sense of purpose that I thought I'd lost forever. As I focused on my photography, the pain of Winstan's betrayal began to fade. I realized that I couldn't let her define my life, that I deserved to be happy, and that I had the power to create my own happiness. When I returned from Iceland, I felt like a different person. I was stronger, more confident, and more determined than ever to move on with my life. I contacted a lawyer and filed for divorce. Wynstan didn't contest it. She knew she'd messed up, and she seemed resigned to the consequences. The divorce was finalized quickly, and I was officially free. But freedom came at a price. I was lonely. The cottage felt empty without Wynstan. I missed the companionship, the shared laughter, the simple routines of our life together. But I refused to let myself wallow in self-pity. I threw myself into my photography, spending hours exploring the countryside, capturing its beauty with my camera. I started exhibiting my work at local galleries, and to my surprise, it was well received. People admired my eye for detail, my ability to capture the essence of a scene. I began to gain recognition as a talented photographer, and my career took off. One evening, I received a phone call from an unknown number. I hesitated before answering it, but curiosity got the better of me. "Hello," I said. "Felix," a familiar voice said on the other end. It was Wynstan. My heart skipped a beat. "What do you want?" I asked, my voice cold. "I need to see you," she said. "It's important." I hesitated for a moment, then agreed to meet her at a local coffee shop. When I arrived, Wynstan was already there, sitting at a table by the window. She looked pale and tired, her eyes red-rimmed. "Thank you for coming," she said, her voice trembling. I sat down opposite her, my expression unreadable. "What do you want, Wynstan?" I asked again. She took a deep breath. "I made a mistake, Felix," she said. "A huge mistake. I regret everything." "Regret?" I scoffed. "Is that all you have to say? You destroyed our marriage, you broke my heart, and all you can say is that you regret it." Tears streamed down her face. "I know I hurt you," she said. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I want you to know that I am truly sorry." "Sorry isn't enough, Wynstan," I said. "You can't undo what you've done." She nodded, her head bowed. "I know," she said, "but I wanted you to know that I've paid the price for my mistake." "What do you mean?" I asked. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with pain. "Ignatius left me," she said. "He left me for another woman. He said he was never really in love with me, that it was just a game to him." My heart didn't skip a beat. I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no vindication, no joy, just a cold, empty indifference. "I'm sorry to hear that," I said, my voice devoid of emotion. She reached across the table and took my hand. "Felix," she said, "I know it's too late, but I want you to know that I still love you. I always will." I gently pulled my hand away. "Don't, Winston," I said. "Don't say that. It's over. It's been over for a long time." I stood up to leave. "Goodbye, Winston," I said. "I hope you find happiness someday." I walked out of the coffee shop, leaving her sitting there alone, her tears a testament to her regret. As I drove away, I realized that I had finally moved on. I no longer felt the pain of her betrayal, the anger, the resentment. I had forgiven her, not for her sake, but for my own. I knew that I could never forget what she had done, but I could choose to let it go, to release the negativity and embrace the future. A few years later, I met someone new. Her name was Genevieve, and she was everything Winston wasn't: kind, compassionate, and honest. She loved my photography, and she encouraged me to pursue my dreams. We got married in a small ceremony in Iceland, surrounded by the stunning landscapes that had helped me heal. As I stood there with Genevieve, looking out at the majestic scenery, I knew that I had finally found true happiness. Winston's betrayal had been a painful chapter in my life, but it had also been a catalyst for growth and change. It had taught me the importance of self-love, the power of forgiveness, and the resilience of the human spirit. And it had led me to Genevieve, the woman who had shown me what true love really meant. I never spoke to Winston again, but I heard through mutual friends that she was still working at the same firm, still living in the same town, still alone. I didn't feel any satisfaction in her misfortune. I simply felt grateful for the life I had, the love I had found, and the lessons I had learned. Life had thrown me a curveball, but I had caught it, dusted myself off, and kept running. And in the end, that's all that mattered.